Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Coffee with Craig show. We'll be talking about commercial real estate in Central and Eastern Europe. So, good Thursday morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Coffee with Craig show. Wow, we have very interesting weather today. It looks super dark this morning, and see lots of big raindrops and electrical storm. Very nice. At least not so hot, I guess. So just to kick it off, starting with our newest publication, which is going to be a deadline tomorrow, our Last Mile digital magazine, digital and interactive magazine covering Central Eastern Europe for industrial property and logistics. Tomorrow is our last day, our deadline for advertising and editorial, so send us anything that you'd like to see in this edition right away. Also, our MIPIN edition of Europa Property Real Estate Guide. We're putting it all together right now as well, and that will go out at MIPIN on September 7th, and we also have a deadline of August 10th for advertising and editorial, so please send us through for that. So 2 exciting magazines coming up back to back. Our events, of course, September is a big month for events. We have our on September 16th, write that date down. We are putting it in your calendar. We've got our Coffee with Craig live morning breakfast and CEO networking at the InterContinental Hotel. And then in the evening, our back to business cocktails. September 22nd, very exciting, our OctoberFest event, first annual OctoberFest event for the property market. That'll be at the InterContinental in Warsaw. So let us know if you'd like to get some table or sponsorship for that. And of course, October 20th, 21st, the Investment Awards, the only event covering Central Eastern Europe, really focusing on investment and development. So we hope to see you for those all coming up this year. Now let's go on to some exciting commercial real estate news that we have on the highlights from EuropaProperty.com. Winston, good to see you. Welcome.
All right, Craig. Yeah, good to see you.
Winston Norman, our editor, will go over the news, and we will be right back in 20 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the brave new world of Europa Property's Last Mile digital and interactive magazine. It's the only one of its kind to cover the Central and Eastern European region with 100% dedication and focus on industrial property and logistics. Don't miss our June edition. Welcome back. Winston, ready for action?
Yeah, let's get on with it. Today, this is, we'll start with CRE Real Estate, and they've announced that they're moving ahead with 2 large residential projects in Poland. You know CRE obviously because they're doing a lot of retail, but they also do a lot of residential. Mm-hmm. And in Wrocław, the company is going to deliver 91 apartments, and they hope to complete those by 2022. And in Łódź, they're about to kick off the second construction stage of a development there with another 88 units.
Wow.
So according to CRE, all things considered, they're planning to build 1,320 residential units in Poland in the years ahead, and planning to invest around 125 million euros. So they are very committed to this market. And according to Pepin Morsius, he's the CEO of CRE Real Estate. He says the demand for modern apartments in Poland far exceeds supply, and so the residential market is kind of still emerging. Mm-hmm. So there's lots of opportunities here, and they're trying to meet the demand with these 2 very attractive projects in Wrocław and Łódź. And he goes on to say that they're planning more projects in Warsaw and Poznan, and he concludes by saying that the Polish real estate market is highly attractive for us as a developer because the international comparison that Poland outperforms the German market, especially in terms of yields. 5.2% for rental apartment prime yields are more than twice as high as in Germany. So this market is very attractive.
Yeah, looks like good thing to be building.
Yeah, definitely. They seem to be in 2 of the hot sectors at the moment. So good for them.
Well placed.
Well placed, definitely. Moving on, and we've got some news from Echo Investment, and they've just released their first sustainability report for 2020. So this is following on from a lot of corporate companies these days of going down the ESG route and incorporating a lot of sustainable sustainable projects and things into their portfolios. And this report is compiled by Echo, and it's related to ESG goals, management, and actions. And it's describing the company's key sustainable development projects. And they have this idea of sound cities, which is regarded as one of the most important. And according to Nicholas Lindberg, the CEO of Echo Investment, he says the company has significant influence on Poland's prominent cities through their city forming developments. You know, they go into cities and they're developing substantial developments in brownfield sites, neglected areas, rundown areas, and you know, these buildings need a lot of these developments. Are incorporating residential, retail, office, and so they're playing a huge role in the future. Hines, the international investor developer, has announced a new leader for their ESG department. This is the appointment of Peter Epping as the global head of their ESG strategies. Obviously, the whole industry is heading towards or accelerating its efforts to decarbonize the built environment. And Hines is a major investor developer, and they're at the forefront of this this activity moving forwards. They've got 6 decades of experience, and they've always when their company was founded by Gerald D. Hines 6 decades ago. They've always had this kind of forefront and foresight to be at the cutting edge of developments moving forward, and ESG now is playing a huge role for developers, investors, and their stakeholders. And so they've got a new department, and
Excellent. Well, ESG, I think everyone's got that on the top of their list of things to make sure
it's a massive thing going on, and we'll be writing about a lot more of this going on in our publications. So we're learning a lot about it as we move forward as well. And moving on, and finally for today, Cordia has some dynamic growth in Poland, and with the acquisition of Polnord, the developer Polnord, and they've appointed some new board members to move the Polish developments forward. So Tomasz Łapinski, he's Cordia's former CFO. He's rejoined the company, and he is now the Chief Development Officer. And Cordia's new Cordia in Poland's new 3-person management board consists of Michał Meluniuk, Peter Bodis, and Tomasz Łapinski.
Okay.
And they go on to say that they have many challenges ahead of us. Combining residential and commercial functions, and they work very closely with the Future Real Group. And the development of the Polish market, Cordia has raised 150 million euros in green bonds.
Wow.
Yeah, and they'll be focusing mainly on residential developments moving forward, because as we've already learned today, residential market in Poland is ripe for development.
Right. Cordia, they're cutting edge all over. They're pretty busy in Romania, Spain, and several other countries. So
Hungary,
they're doing well in Poland. Yeah,
Hungary, and recently they're started operations in the United Kingdom. So it's a huge international company.
Excellent. Is that all we have for the day?
Yeah, that's all for today.
Okay, so everyone, and thank you for watching the Coffee with Craig show. Watch out for this weather if you're here in Warsaw, and we will see you all tomorrow. Click here to subscribe to the Coffee with Craig show, and don't forget to share it with your friends.